Hi everyone, I'm Kelly, a Writing Center consultant for New Mexico State University's Online Writing Center. In this video, I discuss the rhetorical effects of writing style. In the first half of the video, I propose a shift in the way we talk about style and examine factors that can inform our writing style. In the second half of the video, I'll talk with a writer about the stylistic decisions he made in a recent article in light of his rhetorical context. First, let's think through what writing style is. I often hear students ask about the correct way to write, which suggests there is a right and a wrong way to write, but this way of thinking doesn't account for the complexities of writing. Instead, I'd like for us to think about the effects of writing style. So, instead of asking, is this sentence right? We can ask, by writing this sentence, like this, what effects might I have on my readers, and are these the effects I want to have? Thinking about writing style rhetorically instead of correct or incorrect can help us think through and decide on styles that most effectively help us achieve our purpose for writing. But what do I mean by style? Style is often described as the way we write, not just what we write. However, I'll show that style isn't independent of rhetorical context, organization, or content. In fact, many claim that what you write is based on how you write it, meaning style is more than the mechanism to deliver content, but is the content itself. In other words, style, organization, and content all work together to deliver a message. But for the sake of this video, let's try to isolate style. We can discuss style in terms of sentence structure, length, and clarity, word choice, tone, and formality. But perhaps it would be easier to think about style by examining different types of writing and the styles we associate with them. Let's consider journalism writing and academic writing. First, journalism writing often includes short paragraphs, as we see here in this example from the New York Times. And these short paragraphs are perhaps only a sentence or two long. The writing often appears objective sounding or reporting just the facts, and typically avoids first-person pronouns. The scope of the writing is typically limited to the who, what, where, when, why, and how questions, and the sentences in the article often answer these questions directly. Newspaper articles, depending on where they fall in the newspaper's print edition, are often short, significantly shorter than typical academic writing, and because they aim to appeal to a wide audience, journalists often use lay language that the masses will understand. Academic writing looks and sounds different from newspaper articles, as we can see in the 2 pages from an academic article. Academic articles themselves, as well as their paragraphs and even sentences, are significantly longer than newspaper articles, again, as we see in this example. Academic articles often have subheadings that split the writing into different sections, and academic writing cites theory and other key scholars in the field, whereas newspaper articles might cite or quote one or two people. Because audiences are much more focused and specialized, academic writing often uses specialized language or jargon that others in the field also use. Because these two types of writing have different purposes, audiences, and genres, we could understand style as a complex idea delivery mechanism that attends to the writer, audience, content of the writing, and genre. You might want to view the companion video on this channel called Shaping Your Topic and Narrowing the Scope of Your Writing, where I discuss ways you can give your writing more direction and relevance by minding a specific audience, purpose, and genre. Style is another writing component that affects and is affected by audience, purpose, and genre. So as you write, ask yourself this question. Given my audience, purpose, and genre, what style is most appropriate and will most effectively help me deliver my message? Let's hear from a writer. Business writer Zachary Ledford is here to talk about the stylistic decisions he made in light of his rhetorical context for his recent LinkedIn article called Stop Saying You Were Lucky. Welcome, Zachary.
Thanks, Kelly.
First, could you tell us a bit about your article and what motivated you to write this article?
Sure. So the basic premise is that interns are seeking advice or some sort of insights and mentorship from senior business leaders, typically executives. And I've heard this question come up over and over again whenever there's been an opportunity for a Q&A between an intern and an executive. They'd ask, how did you get where you are today? And the executive responds back with, well, I guess you could say that I got lucky. And I've always had an issue with that because it's kind of a misnomer. In my mind, there's a gross miscommunication that occurred there because the executive is trying to be humble and not say that he's a lot better than his peers. But the intern takes away from that simply, well, there's a limit to what I can do to maintain agency, to propel my career forward, to get the upward mobility that I'm after. So it really just comes down to luck. So in the long term, it's a disservice to put that out there.
Okay, sounds important. So why did you decide to write for this medium? Why did you decide to write this as a LinkedIn article?
Sure. So LinkedIn is designed to connect business professionals with one another. So because of the material that I'm writing, the audience really are interns that are in the business world and also executives that are part of that same business community. So it's a natural place to go ahead and reach that audience. The other piece is that because it's a social media outlet, you get access to people all across the country and even all across the world for free.
Okay, so can you talk a little bit about your writing style for this article?
Yeah, absolutely. So LinkedIn, as I said, is designed for business professionals, which is another way of saying that it's people who don't have a whole lot of time. They're looking for something that's short, to the point, and that's going to grab their attention uh, as they're browsing through sort of the main page of the website. So I went through a few iterations trying to figure out what's the best way to phrase this or structure it so that it would draw attention and get the point across. And what I decided to do was to build a little narrative or story at the very beginning of it, where there's actually dialogue between an intern and an executive, and then to re-examine that conversation and look at it with a translation piece. So what was actually spoken, but then how that was taken and understood, and had those ideas bounce back and forth. Sort of juxtapose what was being put out and what was actually understood. Afterwards, whenever that exchange was complete, it moved into more of an analytical type of writing, and then pulling in some first person experiences to sort of comment on that and actually get to uh, what my interpretation of those events were.
Okay, thank you, Zachary, for sharing with us. I hope this video has given you all a more rhetorical way of thinking about style so you can make decisions in your writing that help you more effectively achieve your purpose. Thanks for watching and happy writing!